We're going to continue on learning some Hebrew. Now, I have one of the most, if not the standard Hebrew text for teaching Hebrew in the college courses. Introduction to Biblical Hebrew by Thomas O. Lambden. So the Backyard Professor gives you only the best. That's right. I want the best education for myself. I seek out the best scholars. I will teach you from the best scholars. Thomas O. Lambden, Introduction to Biblical Hebrew. I have a lot of material I want to cover. I'm going to basically give you his introduction, where he shows you various different aspects of Hebrew grammar as a minimum that's going to be necessary for you for a little later on. So I want to cover this material with you. It might be 5, 6, 7 videos. Just watch these videos. I more or less just want you to be aware of what this entails, because we will encounter it again as we begin to learn Hebrew, as I give you your vocabulary, as we start learning sentences together. We're going to get into the actual Hebrew of the Bible here coming up shortly. But Thomas O. Lambden's introduction is extremely good. And I can't do better than Thomas O. Lambden. He is the standard in this country for teaching Hebrew, for learning Hebrew from him. So, okie doke. Let's get this puppy started, shall we? First off, on the idea on syllables. Hebrew has syllables. Let me read Lambden. He says, with very few exceptions, a syllable must begin with a single consonant, followed at least by one vowel. And this is how it works. I've shown you the syllables. Let me try to get out of your way here. I've tried to increase the magnification on the video so that you can see this. These are syllables. This is mid-bar. Mid-bar is mid-bar. That's the syllabification for mid-bar. This is the word for wilderness. Not me-de-bar. It is mid. It begins with a consonant and has a vowel. The second syllable begins with the consonant and ends in a consonant, but each syllable begins with a consonant. So this mid-bar is mid-bar. On devarim, we go de-va-rim. De-va-rim. Notice how each consonant begins the syllable in this word. This is the word for words. Now in mimeni, notice the doubling of the mem. With the doubling of the mem with consonants, we split the consonants. We split the double letter in the middle. That way, and I'll show you, mimeni, we go mem, meni. So this is pronounced memeni. You notice the new syllable begins with an M. We have the double M here, and it splits the syllable. That happens with every doubling of the letter. The dagesh in the letter doubles it. I'll get to that. Givorim. Giborim. Giborim. This is the word for warriors. Notice how each consonant begins a new syllable. Gib, bo, reem. That's the idea of syllabification. Piece of cake. There's nothing difficult here. We'll see it even clearer when we begin writing in Hebrew. I just want you to be aware of how syllabification works in Hebrew. Okay, the special letters. We have a mnemonic for the special letters. I've already discussed these with you. Begad Kephat. This is the mnemonic. The B, the Beit, the Gimel, the Dalet, the Kaf, the Pei, and the Tav. The mnemonic, Begad Kephat. Why is this important? Because with the B and the Dagesh in it, you remember, it is a B. If we saw Beit without the Dagesh, it would be pronounced as V. It softens the B. With the gimel, with the dalet, gimel without the dalet, there's not a lot of difference in the pronunciation, not enough to worry about. With the dalet, the same thing with the dalet, maybe a little bit harder D, but for now, see, we still don't know the real actual pronunciation of the ancient Hebrew. No one survived long enough to tell us, you know what I mean? That's hundreds, if not thousands of years ago. With the K, and without it, the pay without the dagesh is more like an F. It's a F. And then the tav without the dagesh, with the dagesh it's a T, a hard T, and without the dagesh, it's almost like a TH, as in they. These are called the Begad Kephat, because B is for bait, G is for gimel, D is for dalet, kaf is for, or K is for kaf, P is for pay, and T is for tav. These are the special Begad Kephat letters. So that gives you an idea on the Begad Kephat. And again, this is just more or less to keep you in mind. I'm going to start giving you some Hebrew vocabulary just as fast as I can, but you need to be aware of some of these things. Now, there are also instances where there is such a thing as called a vowel reduction, where the vowel will change depending on the ending that the word takes, whether it's a plural ending or a singular ending, whatever. And I'll get into that later with it. Just realize right now that as you add either suffixes or prefixes to the words, it changes the vowels, and this has to do with pronunciation. And you'll see that in Hebrew, okay? Just remember this. In a nutshell, there is so many little nuances and ideas that we can learn, that we will learn, but I will show you once we start getting into writing and reading the Hebrew sentences, you'll see the changing of the vowels, for instance. For now, he says Hebrew is written from right to left, which it is. There are 22 letters. 5 letters have a special ending, have a special form ending. The kaf, I've already told you this also. The kaf always ends with the shiva in it if it doesn't have a different vowel. That's the only final that does. The mem, which is a square. The nun, which is an N. The pei, which is a P. And the tzadi, which is a Z. These are the final forms, the medial forms. Usually, for instance, the kaf, the tail turns around. In the mem, we go like that. With the nun, it has the pullover. I'm exaggerating it to show you. With the pei, it comes around. And with the tzadi, it comes across. Drew that wrong. So that's basically the idea of the endings. Now, he notes also something that you'll need to know for later on that's interesting that we will run across. He says at one time, and I'm not worried about the timing at this point, Vav, which is W or V, and Yod, and final Hey. Hey at the end of a word is what I mean when I said that final Hey there. These were used as vowels at one time because the vowels were added. The patak and the komets and the hirek and the segol and the holum, which is above the left-hand corner of the letter, so on and so forth. These vowels were added by the Masoretes, and this was 800 AD. I mean, this is late. And they didn't change the manuscripts. They just simply added in all of the different types of vowels, and there's other vowels. Before the Masoretes, they were using the letters, Vav, Yod, and hey.